Hey, English learners! Welcome back to Mr. English Fluent Tutor, and welcome back to another wonderful episode. I'm Anna.
And I'm Abel.
Abel, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
What do you think about when you hear the words, not giving up on yourself?
Honestly, Anna, when I first hear those words, I picture someone working 20 hours a day, pushing through incredible pain, never feeling sad or tired, and just fighting through everything with this perfect, powerful strength, like a superhero who never cries, never rests, and never feels defeated no matter what happens around them. That is the image that comes into my mind immediately.
I really understand why you think that, Abel, and so many people feel exactly the same way. But I want to gently correct that idea today because not giving up on yourself is not about being perfect or painless. It is truly about being kind to yourself when you stumble, protecting your daily energy carefully, and continuing forward with small, patient steps even on the hard days.
Oh, wow. That already feels so different from what I imagined. I love that idea of being kind to yourself rather than forcing yourself to be superhuman. It feels much more real and much more reachable for someone like me. So where do we actually begin with this conversation today, Anna? Because I am genuinely excited to explore this topic with you and with our listeners.
I am so glad you feel that way, Abel, and I think the best place to begin is with something I love to call the water from a bottle analogy. Imagine that your emotional energy and your self-belief are like water stored inside a beautiful, limited bottle. That bottle only holds so much, and every single day you must choose wisely how you use that precious water inside it.
That makes so much sense already, Anna. So I'm guessing the problem happens when we waste that water on the wrong things, right? Like when we spend all of our energy criticizing ourselves or comparing our progress to someone else who seems to be much further ahead than we are. That kind of thing really does drain the bottle fast, I think.
Exactly, Abel. And that is such a sharp observation. When you spend your morning telling yourself that you are not good enough or scrolling through someone else's achievements and feeling small in comparison, you are quite literally pouring that valuable water onto the dry floor beneath your feet. The liquid disappears completely and nothing is left to grow from it.
That image of the water splashing onto the dry floor is really powerful, because when the water is gone from the floor, you cannot scoop it back up and put it into the bottle again, can you? So what is the smarter approach then, Anna? How do we save our water and use it in a way that actually helps us move forward and believe in ourselves on an ordinary daily basis?
That's a beautiful question, Abel. Saving your water means choosing to use it intentionally to support your own unique steps today. Instead of comparing your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 20, you pour your energy into your own page. You celebrate one small thing you did well, you remind yourself of one step you completed, and you let that be enough for this moment.
I absolutely love the phrase, your own unique steps, Anna, because it reminds me that my journey is not supposed to look like anyone else's journey. Everyone has a different path, a different starting point, and a different pace. And I think that is something many of us forget when we scroll through social media and see only the highlight reels of other people's lives, without seeing their struggles.
You are 100% right, Abel. And that leads us so naturally into the next idea I want to explore with you today. I think of it as the room with two windows. Imagine you're sitting in a quiet room, and on one side, there's a dark, cloudy window, and directly opposite, there's a window that looks out onto a beautiful green garden full of soft light and open space.
Oh, I like where this is going, Anna. So I'm guessing the cloudy window represents our negative thinking, the voice that tells us we're failures the moment we make one small mistake. And the green garden window is something more hopeful, something that helps us see our situation in a kinder and more realistic light. Is that the right idea here?
You got it exactly right, Abel. And I'm impressed by how quickly you connected those ideas. The cloudy window of doubt is the one that magnifies every single mistake and tells you that because you failed at one small thing, you must be a complete and total failure as a person. That window distorts everything and makes every stumble look like the end of the world.
And I know that cloudy window very well from personal experience, honestly. There have been so many days when I made one tiny mistake. Maybe I said one English word incorrectly or forgot a grammar rule, and suddenly my brain started telling me that I would never improve and that I was wasting my time trying. That all or nothing thinking is truly exhausting when you're living inside it.
Oh, Abel, thank you for sharing that so openly because I know so many of our listeners feel that same exhaustion. But the beautiful truth is that you can choose to walk across the room and look through the green garden window instead. And from that window, you're able to see clearly that making mistakes is not a sign that you're broken. It's simply a normal and necessary part of learning and growing as a human being.
That shift in perspective really does change everything, doesn't it? Because the moment you stop seeing your mistake as evidence of failure and start seeing it as evidence that you are trying, the whole emotional weight of it becomes so much lighter. I think that's a habit worth practicing every morning, even before the day has a chance to throw anything difficult at you.
Beautifully said, Abel. And practicing that perspective shift in the morning is a wonderful daily habit. This connects perfectly to our next idea, which is one of my personal favorites to share. I want you to imagine a wide, flowing river in front of you, and on the other side of that river is the version of yourself you are working toward, the more confident, more fluent, more self-assured you.
Oh, yes, and I am guessing the mistake most people make is trying to leap across that entire river in one single impossible jump. Because we want the results right now. We want to be fluent tomorrow. We want to be confident by the weekend. And when it does not happen that fast, we feel like giving up completely. That gap between where we are and where we want to be feels so enormous sometimes.
That is such a real and honest observation, Abel. And the answer is not to make one giant, terrifying leap. The answer is to notice the stepping stones that already exist just beneath the surface of the water. Each small stone represents a 10-minute pocket of focused action, like reviewing a single new phrase, writing one honest sentence in your journal, or simply celebrating a tiny moment of courage from your day.
I love the idea of calling them pocket coins, Abel. Wait, sorry, I mean Anna. Those small wins are like little coins you drop into your pocket throughout the day, and by the evening, your pocket feels heavier and warmer than it did when you woke up. And over time, all those small coins add up to something truly significant, even if in the moment each one feels almost too tiny to notice or celebrate.
Do not worry, Abel. I love that you called them pocket coins because that is a perfectly beautiful way to expand the idea. You are absolutely right. Each coin is real, each coin counts, and each coin represents you showing up for yourself one more time. And crossing that wide river of self-growth happens one stepping stone and one pocket coin at a time, not in one exhausting flying leap.
Exactly, Anna. And thinking about it that way removes so much pressure from the whole process. Because if my only job today is to find one small stone and step on it, then I can do that. That feels manageable. That feels possible. And feeling like something is genuinely possible is the first shift you need before any real momentum can start building underneath your feet in your confidence.
And this brings me to something that I think is really important when it comes to building that momentum, Abel. Many people who want to grow and improve make the mistake of creating these enormous, complicated, multi-layered plans full of so many steps and so many rules that the plan itself becomes more overwhelming than the original problem they were trying to solve in the first place.
Oh, and I am guilty of that one for sure. I've written so many detailed plans for my English learning where I mapped out every single hour of every single day, filled pages with color-coded notes, and then woke up the next morning feeling completely paralyzed by how much I had created. And instead of starting, I just sat there staring at the plan, feeling more anxious than before I wrote it.
That experience is so relatable, Abel, and it's exactly why I love what I call the clean knife analogy. Think about a sharp, clean, well-maintained kitchen knife. It does its job with precision and ease. But now imagine trying to cut a ripe tomato with a blunt, heavy, rusty blade covered in dried food. You press harder, you tear the skin, and everything becomes messy and frustrating very quickly.
So the overloaded plan is the blunt, heavy, rusty blade, and the clear, single daily focus is the clean, sharp knife. That analogy is so satisfying because it makes the solution feel obvious and simple once you hear it. If your daily goal is clean and sharp and specific, you can cut through the day with precision and actually feel the small but real progress you are making as you go.
Perfectly understood, Abel. A clean, sharp knife in terms of your self-growth journey might simply mean choosing one clear task for today and only today. Not the entire week, not the full month, just today. Maybe it's practicing one conversational phrase 10 times out loud with full confidence. Or it's writing down one thing you're genuinely proud of yourself for doing this week.
And I think there's so much relief in giving yourself permission to focus on just one thing, Anna, because when you finish that one clean task, you feel satisfied and complete, rather than overwhelmed by the 47 other things still left unchecked on your overloaded list. That feeling of completion is actually a really powerful motivator that keeps you coming back tomorrow and the day after.
Absolutely, Abel. And speaking of powerful motivators, I want to introduce one of my most favorite tiny but mighty tools that I share with English learners and with anyone who's working on believing in themselves more deeply. It's just one single word, and that word is yet. Just 3 letters, Y-E-T, yet.
Oh, I've heard of this idea before, Anna, but I would love to hear you explain it in your own way today because I think you're going to make it feel much more personal and much more meaningful than the version I remember. So please, go ahead. Tell me about the magic of the word yet and why it matters so much for people who are working on their self-belief every day.
Thank you, Abel. So here's how it works. When that negative inner voice speaks up and says something like, I'm not smart enough, I'm not fluent enough, I'll never reach my goal, the word yet does something beautiful. You simply place it at the very end of the sentence and watch how the whole meaning transforms. I'm not fluent yet. I haven't reached my goal yet.
Wow, that's such a small change, but the difference it creates in how the sentence feels is enormous. When you say, I am not fluent, it sounds like a permanent, closed, final verdict about who you are as a person. But when you say, I am not fluent yet, it suddenly becomes an open door, an ongoing journey with more chapters still ahead of you waiting to be written and lived through.
You described that so beautifully, Abel, and I could not say it better myself. The word yet converts a heavy, sealed wall into a wide open path. It tells your brain that the current moment is not the final moment, that where you are standing right now is just one point on a much longer, richer, and more rewarding road that is still stretching forward ahead of you every single day.
And I think the reason that inner critical voice is so damaging is because it speaks in permanent language, Anna. It says never and always and forever in ways that feel absolutely certain and final. So learning to challenge that language with something as simple and gentle as the word yet is like finding a tiny but incredibly important key that unlocks a door you thought was permanently shut and bolted from the inside.
That is such a wise way to put it, Abel, and it connects so naturally to something else I want to remind every single one of our wonderful listeners about today. Your daily personal progress is not an examination room. There is no strict teacher sitting behind the sofa in your living room with a red pen and a grade sheet, marking every small mistake you make and every slow day you experience.
Oh, Anna, that image of the teacher hiding behind the sofa made me smile so much, because I think so many of us live as though that invisible judge is genuinely there, watching our every move and giving us a score. And we become so worried about being judged that we stop trying at all, because not trying feels safer than trying imperfectly and being seen to fail in front of someone.
And that fear is completely understandable, Abel. But here is the truth that I want you to hold onto tightly. There is no judge. There is no red pen. Your stumbles are not being cataloged or scored by anyone but the harsh voice inside your own head. An imperfect, messy, courageous daily action is not something to be ashamed of. It is actually exactly how true and lasting confidence is built over time.
Exactly, Anna. And I love the word courageous in that sentence because it reframes the whole idea of imperfect action. It is not embarrassing to try and stumble, it's actually brave. It takes real courage to keep showing up, even when you are not sure of yourself, even when you feel awkward or uncertain, because the alternative is staying completely still and never moving forward at all.
And staying completely still is the one thing I never want for any of our listeners, which brings me to the last major idea I want us to explore together before we move into our word review section today, Abel. And it is something I call the slow friend analogy, and I think it is one of the most peaceful and comforting ideas we can share on this topic today.
Oh, I love the sound of this already, Anna, because the word peaceful is something I genuinely need to hear more of when I think about self-growth and self-belief. So please, describe this slow friend analogy for us, because I have a feeling it's going to resonate very deeply with a lot of the people who are listening to us right now on this beautiful episode.
So imagine you're walking in the afternoon through a calm, quiet neighborhood, and you have a dear friend who walks just a little more slowly than you do. If you rush ahead too fast and too impatiently, your friend falls far behind, and you end up walking completely alone without the warmth of their company beside you. But if you slow your own pace down intentionally, your friend catches up and walks right beside you.
That makes so much sense, Anna. And I think the slow friend in this analogy is deep self-confidence itself, isn't it? Because genuine, lasting confidence is not something that arrives in a sudden explosion of certainty and power. It builds quietly and gradually over many days and many small, brave choices. And if you rush and force and demand it to arrive right now, this instant, it simply can't keep up with that frantic pace.
Exactly, Abel. You understood it perfectly. True, deep, durable self-confidence is the slow friend, and the way you invite it to walk beside you is by intentionally softening your daily pace, by breathing more fully, by speaking a little more slowly and clearly, by pausing before you react, and by choosing calm over panic when the hard moments come. That is how you allow deep clarity to catch up to where you are.
I really appreciate that idea of softening your daily pace, Anna, because so much of modern life is pushing us to go faster, to do more, to achieve quicker, to be better right now, immediately. And self-growth doesn't really work that way at all. It needs a different rhythm, a quieter and more patient rhythm, one that gives the slow friend enough time and space to find you and walk beside you.
That is a genuinely lovely way to say it, Abel. And I think on that note, we should take a gentle breath and move into our integrated vocabulary review together. Because throughout our conversation today, we have been using some really important words that our listeners should feel comfortable understanding, using, and carrying with them beyond this episode and into their everyday lives.
Oh, yes, I love this part of the show, Anna, because the vocabulary always feels so connected to everything we've been talking about, rather than just appearing as a cold list of dictionary definitions. It makes the words feel alive and real and personally useful, rather than just something you memorize for an exam and then immediately forget the moment the test is over and done with.
Beautifully said, Abel. So, our first word today is perseverance. Perseverance means the quality of continuing to move forward with determination and steady effort, even when the journey becomes difficult or discouraging. It's not about being fearless or painless, it's about choosing to keep walking, even when your legs feel tired and the path ahead seems unclear and uncertain.
And a wonderful daily life example for perseverance might be something like this. Maria showed incredible perseverance by studying English for 15 minutes every single morning for 6 months, even on the days when she felt tired and uninspired, because she trusted that the small daily effort would eventually add up to something real and meaningful in her life.
Perfect example, Abel, and I love how personal and specific that sentence is. Our second word is resilience. Resilience is the inner capacity to recover from setbacks, to bend without completely breaking, and to find your way back to your own path after a fall. It's not about never falling down. It's about what you choose to do in the quiet moment after the fall when no one else is watching.
That is such a rich definition, Anna. And a good daily life example for resilience could be something like, after failing his driving test 3 times, James decided to take a short break, speak kindly to himself about the experience, and then return to his lessons with a fresh and open mind, which is a perfect example of genuine resilience in action during a very ordinary and relatable life situation.
That is a beautifully grounded example, Abel. Our third word is self-compassion. Self-compassion means treating yourself with the same warmth, patience, and understanding that you would offer to a dear and trusted friend who was going through something difficult. So many of us are far gentler and kinder to the people we love than we ever dare to be with ourselves in our own quiet inner world.
And a daily life sentence for self-compassion might be, when Sophie forgot an important appointment, instead of spending the whole evening criticizing herself harshly and replaying the mistake over and over again, she practiced self-compassion by acknowledging what happened, making a plan to do better next time, and then allowing herself to rest peacefully without the weight of guilt and shame.
Oh, what a wonderful and comforting example, Abel. Truly. Our fourth word is standard. In the context of today's conversation, your personal standard is the level of quality or expectation that you set for your own behavior, effort, and daily choices. The key is to set standards that are honest, realistic, and genuinely motivating, rather than crushing, impossible, and designed to make you feel perpetually inadequate, no matter how much you achieve.
Exactly, Anna. And a good everyday sentence for standard could be, David decided to raise his personal standard by committing to one act of intentional kindness toward himself each day, whether that meant going to bed on time, eating a warm meal slowly and without distraction, or simply pausing to acknowledge one genuine thing he had done well before the day came to a close.
Oh, what a wonderful and beautiful example, Abel, truly. Our fifth word is discourage. To discourage someone means to cause them to lose confidence, enthusiasm, or motivation. And importantly, we can discourage ourselves through the language we use in our own internal conversations. The words you speak silently to yourself inside your mind have a very real and very powerful effect on how much energy and hope you feel each day.
Oh, that is such an important point, Anna. And a daily life sentence for discourage could be, comparing her progress every single day to that of a much more advanced classmate began to discourage Lily from continuing her language learning journey, until a wise friend reminded her that her only competition was the version of herself she had been yesterday, not the achievements of someone else entirely.
Perfect, Abel. Absolutely perfect. Our sixth word is transformation. Transformation means a deep, meaningful, and lasting change in how you think, feel, behave, or understand yourself and the world around you. And the beautiful thing about transformation is that it rarely arrives in one dramatic and sudden moment. It almost always builds quietly through the accumulated weight of many small, consistent daily choices made with intention and care.
And Anna, a daily life sentence for transformation might sound like this. After spending 3 months practicing daily self-compassion, speaking more slowly and deliberately, and collecting small pocket coin victories every single day, Michael noticed a quiet but powerful transformation in the way he spoke about himself, believed in his own abilities, and approached the new challenges that showed up in his everyday life.
That is a truly beautiful and comprehensive example sentence, Abel, and you should be proud of that one. And our seventh and final vocabulary word for today is potential. Potential means the inherent ability, capacity, or possibility that exists within a person to grow, improve, achieve, and become something greater than they currently are. And here is the most important thing to understand about potential. It does not disappear when you make a mistake or have a hard week.
And a powerful daily life sentence for potential could be, when her teacher told her that she had the potential to become truly fluent in English if she continued to show up consistently and treat her learning journey with patience and self-belief, Elena felt a warmth in her chest that she had not felt in a very long time, because someone had seen the possibility in her that she had been struggling to see in herself.
Oh, Abel, that sentence actually moved me because I think so many people in our listening community are waiting for someone to reflect their own potential back to them. And if nobody in your life has told you this lately, then I want to be that voice for you right now. You have real, genuine, undeniable potential, and it is still fully intact and waiting for you to reconnect with it.
Exactly, Anna, and I second that 100%. Every single person listening to this episode right now is already demonstrating their potential simply by choosing to press play and invest this time in themselves today. That is not a small thing. That is actually a really significant and courageous daily choice, and it deserves to be recognized and celebrated genuinely and wholeheartedly.
Beautifully said, Abel. And on that warm and genuinely encouraging note, I would love for you to give our listeners a lovely, comprehensive recap of the main ideas and strategies we explored together throughout this whole wonderful conversation today. Because I know there was a lot of rich content shared, and a clear, flowing summary really helps the learning settle deeply and stay.
Absolutely, Anna. It would be my genuine honor to do that. So today we began by exploring the idea that not giving up on yourself is not about being a perfect, painless superhero who never feels tired or sad. It's about choosing to be genuinely kind and patient with yourself when you stumble, protecting your precious daily energy by saving your bottle of water for intentional and self-supportive use, rather than pouring it on the floor through harsh self-criticism and constant comparison.
Keep going, Abel. You are doing wonderfully.
Thank you, Anna. We then talked about choosing to look through the green garden window rather than the cloudy window of doubt, understanding that one mistake does not make you a failure, but simply makes you someone who is actively learning and growing through real lived experience. We explored the stepping stones across the river and the beautiful pocket coins of small daily action, reminding ourselves that we do not need to leap across the whole river in one day. One stone, one coin, one brave step at a time is more than enough.
Oh, that is such a clean and clear recap, Abel. I love it. Keep going because you still have more beautiful ideas to cover from our conversation today. And I really want our listeners to hear them all collected together in this final summary before we close out the episode.
Of course, Anna. We also explored the clean, sharp knife analogy, which reminded us to focus on one clear daily task instead of building enormous, complicated plans that create mental fog and paralysis rather than momentum. We celebrated the magic word yet, which transforms permanent-sounding inner criticism into open, ongoing invitations for continued growth and progress. And we reminded ourselves that there's no judge hiding behind the sofa, scoring our messy, imperfect, courageous daily efforts. Those efforts are exactly how real confidence is built.
And there is still one more beautiful idea, Abel, the slow friend. Don't forget to bring that one home for our listeners, because I think it's one of the most peaceful and important reminders of the whole episode today.
You are so right, Anna. Thank you for that gentle nudge. And finally, we learned about the slow friend, which is the understanding that true and lasting deep self-confidence does not arrive in a sudden dramatic rush. It walks towards you slowly and quietly. And the way you invite it to catch up and walk beside you is by intentionally softening your daily pace, breathing more fully, moving with more intention, and allowing the clarity and the calm and the confidence to gradually find their way to where you are standing each and every day.
Abel, that recap was absolutely magnificent, and I'm proud of the way you brought all of those ideas together in such a clear, warm, and flowing way. And now I want to turn directly to you, our incredible English learning community, because your voice and your commitment matter so much to everything we do here on this channel every single week without exception.
Anna is absolutely right about that, and I would love to hear from each and every one of you in the comments section below this video today, because your words and your reflections genuinely inspire us and inspire every other learner who reads them.
So here's my question and my warm invitation for you today, beautiful English learner. Drop a comment below this video and share with us one small promise you're going to make to yourself today to keep moving forward without giving up. It doesn't need to be a big, dramatic, life-changing promise. It can be as small and as gentle as, I promise to speak one kind word to myself today, or I promise to take one small step toward my goal this evening. We want to read every single one.
Oh, Anna, I love that so much. And I just want to say to every person who leaves a comment today, we see you, we believe in your potential, and we are genuinely and sincerely rooting for you every single day of your journey. You are not alone in this, and you never have to be, because this community is here walking beside you every step of the way.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep speaking with confidence and ease. This is Anna.
And this is Abel, and you have been listening to the Mr. English Fluent Tutor Podcast. Bye-bye, take care.
And hey, before you go, don't stop here. Click the next video right now to keep your language learning and your personal growth moving forward smoothly and beautifully. We have so much more wonderful content waiting for you, and your next breakthrough is just one more play button away.